Well, the moment we were waiting for. We have news.
Oh, that's right.
Real news.
There's a new episode of Rebels coming out, and we can talk about it at great length.
Yeah, we're going to spend 22 minutes talking about a 22-minute episode.
No.
Minute by minute. No.
I buried the lead.
The moment we've been waiting for, folks, we have a title.
That's right.
To...
SW7.
SW7. Episode 7. Is it episode 7? We don't even know.
That's right. We don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
It's all thrown into question. J.J. Abrams and the mystery box win again.
Yeah. So, this is our Delusions of Granular's coverage of The Force Awakens.
Yes. The Ancient Fear No More.
Yeah.
This is, that should be the name of this episode. The Ancient Fear No More. Yeah. It's, this is almost like a special episode because last Thursday when the news broke, you and I were on G-Chat, as we always are.
Yep.
And we were both, I think, kind of giddy and drunk with excitement.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like, it was embarrassing.
I could not sit still, and I work in an office of non-Star Wars fans, so there was no one I could really express my excitement to.
Yes.
So I just kind of went off and silently celebrated off away from my desk so people weren't noticing how nerdy I was being.
Slipped away to the bathroom for about 15 minutes and celebrated by myself.
Came
back to work.
That's what I was going to say, yeah.
I don't know. Let's just get our opinions out there right away.
All right.
What do you think? 1, 2, 3.
I love it.
I loved it too.
I love it. I love it so much.
It's such a stupid thing to get excited about. Like, literally, and honestly, when you first wrote it to me, because you broke it to me via G-Chat.
Yeah.
And I was like, The Force Awakens. I had like everything with Star Wars, I had to kind of put it on the scale, weigh it, roll on my tongue. I was like, that's it right. The Force Awakens. And then I went and looked at the Twitter where they dropped the logo.
Oh, yeah, right.
And it was...
The logo is slightly changed now.
Really? How so?
Well, I mean, they've never put the title...
in between it.
Yeah, the subtitle between Star and Wars.
But it feels design-wise certainly like something that could have been done in the 70s.
Oh, well, okay, so are we going to let's get granular right away.
Yeah. My glasses.
So, the typeface. The typeface that they use to set The Force Awakens is actually a font that they have used in the past on early Star Wars posters. Also ties back to a lot of science fiction novels use this font on their covers.
This is ITC
Serif Gothic. I think it's ITC Serif Gothic.
Okay. Thanks.
Maybe. I only looked it up and tried to see if I had the font, and I do, and I reset it.
What's the kerning on that? You think it's about 100 points?
Yeah. But they're tying it back to science fiction in a very subtle way, which I totally appreciate.
Of course.
Nobody is really going to know that, but us nerds that know fonts.
Isn't that the same kind of look that they had with that black and white poster that had the illustration that's not the super famous one?
I believe so. I looked it up because I was trying to figure out what font it was to begin with.
Yes.
And there is an article, I believe, on TheVerge.com or something where they analyze the font and they show that it's a heavier weight than the font that was used on the old Star Wars posters, but it was also used for Wrath of Khan.
Right.
So it has a very science fiction-y past to this font that they're using.
J.J. Abrams enlisted in part of my legion of people who are slowly but surely making Star Wars into Star Trek. We're winning.
Right. So The Force Awakens.
Yes.
No Episode 7, just The Force Awakens.
I thought about this the other day because I've always been very disappointed that there's not a clean logo for Star Wars Phantom Menace.
Okay.
Like there's Return of the Jedi.
Right.
Empire Strikes Back have awesome lockups.
Yes.
And there's really not one. It's all about Episode 1. But I got thinking about it again, and it was like, well, that was really important at the time.
Sure.
You really had to sell that this took place before the ones you saw, and you weren't going to see Luke, you weren't going to see everybody else. You're going to see their mommy and daddy and everybody else.
Right. I don't know how I feel about Episode 7 being gone from the title. I think it's it was getting too cumbersome to have that in there.
Yeah.
But part of me also feels like this is the dumbing down of Star Wars. Like, let's remove the Roman numerals because those are going to get too hard to read after a while.
Well, okay, here's the Roman numerals because it's too hard to read. That's funny.
Well, what Super Bowl are we on?
It's true.
I don't know what Super Bowl we're on because I can't read Roman numerals that high.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, once you get more than 2 X's in it, it's all guns to shit, yeah.
Once you get that L in there, I'm like, I don't know. This is not a number anymore.
Yeah, that's an L. Yeah, I don't know. To me, I guess it was... I didn't even think about the Roman numeral thing. That's actually really true, probably.
Right.
Yeah, past 8. Even when you get to 8, is it 2X? Is it 11X?
No,
or is it still V111?
V111. It's when you get to 9. That's when it gets.
Okay, that's when it goes IX.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. See, right there, we would have stumbled.
Yeah, we would have not known what to do.
Thank God they got rid of those Roman numerals.
So yeah,
it'll still be in the crawl though, surely.
Well, okay, so let's not just get into the fan reaction yet, but people did mention that, oh, well, it's going to be in the crawl. No, it doesn't matter what it's announced. No. You know, it's going to be in the crawl. Well, okay, we don't even know if there's going to be a crawl.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, I just dropped that on you.
Imagine that. Imagine if they... Okay, here's a crazy thought. What if J.J. Abrams says, hey, you know what? George Lucas, those were his 6 movies. We plan to make 30 in the next 15 years. No, 15. I'm being so conservative. We're going to make 30 in the next 5 years. He's going to be in the minority soon. But that would be his look. This is how I want to introduce the film.
Well, okay, so that... You once again bring up a very interesting point. Not having a number attached to this, or at least not a Roman numeral attached to this, it does set off George's 6 on their own.
Yes.
You know, those are George's 6. Let's not touch those. Let's move forward.
What someone called the true canon.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Yes. So this is, you know, it distinguishes the past from the present and the future. I like that.
Yes.
I like the. Who knows what is going to happen next?
Oh, yeah.
You know,
clearly.
Honestly, I thought, you know, this was so. Here we're recording on Monday. It was announced last Thursday, so 4 days ago.
Yes, that's 48 hours times 2.
And it dropped like a bomb. It did not. No fanfare. No, like
they dropped
press.
It on Twitter, right?
Yeah, they just dropped it on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and there was nothing. Nothing was leading up to this. There was no speculation that this was going to happen.
On a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
A Thursday's not really.
Yeah, and it was like at 11 o'clock or something.
Yeah.
It was just okay.
It was almost like they tried to bury it, kind of.
Yeah, I think they.
Granted, it was on a Sunday or something.
Yeah. Well, if they dropped it on a Sunday, it would have been. Nobody would have known until Monday morning.
God, I wish they would have done that now.
But. You know, after the big to-do with the Wave 3 of the Marvel movies being announced.
Yeah, this is... You know, do they call it Wave 3 or they call it Plan 3?
Plan 3 or whatever.
No, it's... what is some 3?
Level 3.
Level 3. Clearance level 3. I don't know. That rinky-dink bullshit doesn't matter anymore. We have new Star Wars coming out.
Right. Well, between Marvel and DC making the announcements for their movie lineup until 2020.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Because we'll be watching movies then.
Yeah, right. Like, I hardly go to the theater now. In 4 years, I'm not going at all.
Right.
Period.
Yeah. 5-6 years. 2020. That's when Green Lantern is going to be rebooted.
And that's the one. That's the one when no one goes. Yeah, it's funny to bring up Green Lantern. That'll come up again later.
It will. Yeah.
Just wanted to bookmark that.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. So the title's great. We love it. It's exciting.
It's exciting.
Now
captures my imagination.
For sure. Awakens is a great title for that. Now, one thing before we jump off too far.
Yeah.
The comparison to Marvel was very apt in terms of they dropped, what was it, 7 movies? 7 movie logos?
Yeah.
7 movie logos.
Movie logos, yeah.
And
all very photoshopped and very slick. And
a lot of work put into it.
Yeah. And the Star Wars logo almost, I found the font and I reset the logo in 10 minutes.
There were generators for it within half an hour.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show once again that these Marvel movies are a big deal, no doubt. But Star Wars is still Star Wars.
Star Wars is it's got a trumpet.
And
right?
the shocking thing to me was that it still worked on me.
Oh, yeah.
I think of myself as a pretty cynical and embittered fan. I spend this, once a week, I get together with you, we talk Star Wars, we get geeky, but like we're, consider ourselves old pros at this point, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Mystery box my ass.
Yeah.
But then something like this happens, and I'm like, literally the first bit, it's just a logo and, 3 words, and I'm just like teetering.
Sure.
And it's like,
right.
It's like, oh man, this stuff still works. It's still got the juice.
And it works as the name. Like the name works.
Yes.
Because Star Wars A New Hope was Star Wars in 3 words.
Right.
Star Wars The Phantom Menace was Star Wars in 3 words. Mm-hmm. So now we got the start of the new trilogy.
Yeah.
And it's again a 3-word title.
Yeah, I mean, like, let's run it down. You got Menace, Clones, Sith, Hope, Empire, Jedi, Force.
Those are our nouns.
Those
in the
are
titles.
our nouns.
Yep.
And then our adjectives and verbs: Phantom, Attack, Revenge, New, Strikes Back, Return, and Awakens.
Sure.
I mean, that all.
Well, okay. So Awakens. So this is. I keep saying A, and I never get to B.
I know. You know what? Sometimes there's not a B.
There's not a B. Yeah. But this is the first one that is actually calling out the Force. We have our first Force in a title of Star Wars movie. That's a big thing.
This was something that I was honestly, my initial reaction before I saw the logo and got all fanboyish. That was my big thing. I was like, ooh, I don't know. I'm very reticent about bringing in the Force because the Force is such an easily abused concept.
Right.
Easily abused.
Right.
Tune into Rebels every week.
Right. Yeah. But you were talking about the verbs. So, we've had... Well, we didn't really have a verb in A New Hope. No,
we had an adjective, new.
Yeah.
Just like we didn't have a verb in The Phantom Menace. It was an adjective.
Right, but okay, so let's talk about the ones that have like a distinct noun and verb. Mm-hmm. So we have clones attacking, we have the Empire striking, we have the Jedi returning, we have the that's 5 golden rings. Yeah, right. Yeah. I was like, no, I run out of verbs. No, so we have the Force Awakening, and here's the point that I want to bring up about this is like, so the clones, the Sith, the Jedi, the Empire are all very distinctive things. Factions. Right? But they're all things that you can personify. Certainly. Right? They're all things. They're all people. Yeah. And now we have the Force, which is an idea, and it's awakening. Yeah. So they're kind of personifying the Force. If we really want to read in these titles, I mean... You can start out and you have the Menace, which is probably the thing that's the most analogous to the Force, other than Hope, maybe, right? The start, the start of each of the 3. Sure. So, the Menace obviously threatens the Jedi and the Force and the way of civilization as they knew it with the Clone Wars. A New Hope, stands for the awakening, or there's new light. Yes. And now the Force itself is awakening, right? Right. Now that's pretty, as I said it out loud, that's almost identical to the logic that the woman who predicted it 2 years before it was announced. Oh, right. Yeah. Like that's kind of that's kind of how she summed it up, right? Yeah. And like that makes sense. It's in like the end line with the fight on Mustafar with Obi-Wan, where Obi goes to Anakin, you were supposed to save the Force, not leave it in darkness. Sure. Or you're supposed to lead the Force, be the Force. Bring balance to the Force. Bring balance to the Force. Yeah, they always try to do something with it. Yeah. So, okay, so that leads us to some of... Well, I don't want to get negative on this, but, like, the Force has been asleep? Like, we've seen 6 movies. The Force has been in it. Like, all of a sudden it's asleep now? Well, Ron, I mean, to be fair, we're always talking about that it's weird that Luke can't, do crazy flips and wild Jedi stuff like we saw in the Clone Wars. Right. Well, this is where it captures my imagination, because I was like, well, The Force Awakens. They're kind of drawing the line in the sand and saying, look, you think you've seen the Force in the other movies. Well, you ain't seen nothing yet. And that, to me, is the problem. I don't want to see more. You don't want to see more? You want to see... You're in the minority there. Because you know what's... You are in the minority.
Okay, Ron.
Because
Ron.
I have been seeing nothing but comments where they're like, well, if Luke is going to fight someone in the new movie, he better be, more agile and
bigger,
faster
tougher
than he was in the original trilogy, because those are slow lightsaber fights.
Fart time, dude. That's horrible. Because here's the thing. I understand the need to speed things up. It's a modern day. Hey, on that aborted attempt to compare Attack of the Clones and Empire Strikes Back, we both kind of came down to that.
Oh, right. Folks, that was a episode that didn't air. We have a lost episode of SW Dog that, we didn't feel like it was...
You're too good for it, folks. Yeah. You're too good for it.
Yeah,
it was a bad drunk cast. Really fell apart.
The alcohol got out of hand. And,
that was my problem.
Yeah, we're gonna probably try to re-record that, but there was a lost cast in the last few weeks.
I'd like to release that as a pay episode someday. If someone wants to hear the drunk cast, they gotta pay some money for it. I mean, the thing is, when you start playing that game, bigger, badder, better, it's just going to be I just don't want to see a CGI fuckfest, man. That's the last thing I want to see is, I don't want to see someone opening dimensional gateways with the Force. I don't want to see somebody...
Oh, I see. Okay, so I don't see that. I don't see dimensional gateways opening, but, like I said, this title captured my imagination along with, either the day before or the day after this announcement. There was more rumors about Luke and where he's at and where he's, going to be in this new movie. Mm-hmm. And it's basically that he has become so powerful that, he's secluded himself because he feels that he could be a danger to the universe.
Right.
I tend to start to believe this now that we have a title. Now that we have a title of the movie, it's easier to read into some of these rumors. It's not called, even though they're saying this is going to be a Han Solo movie, that it's going to be, Harrison Ford is a co-lead on this movie.
Co-lead, yeah.
Harrison Ford has nothing to do with, Harrison Ford has a lot to do with the Force because, he smokes the weed. But Han Solo has the weed. But Han Solo has nothing to do with the Force. Mm-hmm. And here we have a movie that has Force in the title. Leads me to believe that they're lying to us. That Han Solo is not a big part of this movie.
That was the other thing that came into focus.
Mark Hamill is the lead.
Oh, man, I hope so. God. That was another thing that came into focus for me when they released this title and logo, was that they've done a really freaking good job of obscuring the truth. I have no idea.
We still have nothing other than that cast photo.
What are those fucking little kids playing?
What?
Those children actors, those kids.
Oh, the rest of the cast?
Yeah, everyone that was not an OT. Some of them are older than me.
Yeah. We definitely have a lot of rumors, a lot of speculation going on out there.
A lot of interested parties, a lot of ins and outs.
Lots of ins and outs. But we don't know. Does making.StarWars.net know? They have the inside source? Does Indie Revolver really have the inside source?
What is Indie Revolver? I'm still believing that J.J. Abrams is the owner of Indie Revolver.
We've seen sketches and we've seen, blurry pictures and we've seen
broken dreams.
Whoa!
Speaking of broken
bottles.
Wow. Thanks. I'm gonna pour this into a glass.
Yeah.
The Force Awakens.
So we don't know much.
No. They've done a good job keeping it under wraps for such a big movie. Considering we already have seen a picture of the bad guy in Ant-Man before we've even seen a trailer or anything. Wow.
Go fill your beer. I'll fill in here. Yeah, so my thought here is right away is. Okay, we have the title. It is still, 400 some days out before the movie is supposedly released next December in 2015. What do we get next? Do we get a trailer? Do we get a teaser trailer? I was half expecting a teaser trailer to drop the day after we got the title, just because who would expect that?
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I was expecting it and kind of was, in and out of meetings all day, and as soon as I would get back to the computer, kind of clicking on, the internet and seeing if I had missed something while I was in a meeting. But we don't know. And we don't know when the next thing is because nothing has, along with them dropping this title on Twitter, all they said was production is wrapped. Right?
Yeah.
Filming is wrapped. That's all they've said.
Yeah.
You go to StarWars.com and all it has is the title of the movie. It doesn't say, well, this is the title of the movie and this is a synopsis. It doesn't give you anything.
Now, do you remember any of the other websites back in the day, back in the prequel days, was any of these titles spoiled before production wrapped?
I don't believe anything was spoiled.
I know Harry Knowles.
I feel like, well, yeah,
did he get the Phantom Menace right?
I don't think anybody predicted anything.
Okay.
I would say that there was probably a description of a trailer before the trailer came out.
Sure.
I remember that.
Right.
Okay.
So the title had to have been linked then. Well, did the teaser actually even say Phantom Menace, or did it just say Empire?
I don't know, but I gotta say that we got the title first, and then maybe a few months later we got the teaser trailer. Maybe.
Yeah.
So
hard to remember.
The speculation now is, when will we get a teaser trailer? Yeah. They're saying, well, John Williams has started recording, that the trailer is already edited and cut and sent to him, that we could get something by Christmas.
I think that's likely. If I recall the Star Trek teaser, where you see close-ups of guys working on something.
J.J. Abrams reboot.
Yes. They released that around Christmas.
Okay.
If I recall correctly.
All right. Well,
it just makes sense. It's going to be the biggest movie of 2016. It's going to be
the biggest movie of 2015.
15. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, all these dates,
man. And 2016.
Everyone's releasing all these dates up into 2026 in some cases, and it's just like,
this
is madness.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So
now, all the hidden stuff though hasn't left everyone without an opinion.
Oh no, not at all.
So, you and I are very excited just with the fact that we don't know anything.
Right.
But there's a lot of people out there, such as my good friend Leon, who writes things on Slash Film. This movie has awful written all over it. The title sucks, and we are trading in Luke for some blonde chick. The main characters are all women. Actually, he says they're all women.
Yeah, they're all playing one person.
They're all women.
They're all.
They are like Amazonians.
It's like
they
Voltron.
are all women.
It's all. It's like Voltron. All the actors are going to form into one.
It's all male actors actually. They make one giant woman. It's amazing. Regardless of the old actors returning, this film is going to suck. You can't replace Kurt Russell with a chick in The Thing, and you can't replace Luke with some blonde, whiny girl. Well, I never saw that Thing remake, so maybe he's got a point on that one. I don't know.
Luke was kind of a whiny girl in Star Wars.
Yeah, I mean, it really doesn't get much more feminine than that.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm going to touch these stations and power converters. No, there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
This is a massive lame and has completely made me lose interest in movies.
Now, you are reading this verbatim, right? You're not.
Yes, this is quotes.
This is not me. Like you butchering his grammar.
This diaper audience, wow. This diaper audience, geek audience is destroying movies, and it will probably be PG-13 too. Fail. Massive fail.
Nice.
Thank you, Leon.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. I also like D.N. Williams' response to that.
Wait, Billy D. Williams?
D.N. Williams.
Oh, okay.
What the hell am I reading? Thank you, D.N. Good job, D.N. Yes. You got the SW Dog salute. So,
of course, yes, the hatred began very quickly.
Yeah.
You and I were like, yeah, this is great. But of course, Star Wars fans wouldn't be Star Wars fans without the hate.
Oh, for sure.
Immediately people are like, okay, so Episode 8 will be the Star Wars, rolls out of bed.
Yeah,
Episode 9 is Star Wars, the Force brews a cup of coffee,
Star Wars awakens to the fact it's not relevant. Star Wars, I saw a lot of that. Yeah. But honestly, it was, you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me when the iPad came out.
Yeah.
Do you remember like the back?
The pad.
Name?
Pad.
Yeah, the pad, the mini pad, maxi pad.
Right.
Yeah, everyone was making all these like.
Everyone shut up really quickly once that came out.
Yeah, they made when they named it though, they gave all these super lame like tampon jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
And like
that ended really quickly.
That's about the level of comedy I'm seeing online here. Like you can always tell when it's like when it is something shitty because people have really good witty comments about it.
Right.
But I haven't really seen anything that's like
this is not like
except for Mark Hamill's tweet, which is
Mark Hamill, of course, pokes fun at it as well, and
because he's the man.
Yeah, it's Mark Hamill. We can let that slide.
Yeah, he gets to do whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. There's no real place to slap this in, but I want to mention again, Mark Hamill, guy who doesn't seem like a geek before Star Wars, but it seems like Star Wars actually made him into a geek.
Turned him into that. Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah.
We were talking about the rumor mill. We were talking about the rumor that is all going to be about Luke.
Yeah, so the rumor is that Luke is, exiled himself because he's become too powerful.
Yes.
And that there's some kind of threat that these kids stumble upon and they have to go seek him out.
Crazy old wizard.
Yeah, and that is kind of playing on the past with, Ben being the crazy old wizard in exile, Yoda being the crazy old wizard in exile. Yeah, so it's quite plausible that Luke is exiled himself because he feels he's a threat to the universe.
Now, I believe the synopsis I read, I think we read the same one, was said that he was having trouble controlling like moving objects and he was seeing dead people. Which I thought was a very interesting take on, we see this.
They they did mention that, that he sees the past and the future, and, we already know he can see the future. He saw the future in Cloud City. Which
is also keeping in tune with their roots with the Dune references, with the, the Keji Hajarak, the... Paul Atreides, that's his gig.
Okay. Yeah. I just started reading Dune for the very first time.
Yeah,
so
I know when
you're
you told me
spoiling it already.
When you told me you were reading Tarkin today, I was like, okay, so Dune is on the show.
I know. I'm so disappointed because I was so like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna blow through Dune. I was like, oh, Tarkin came out. Damn it.
Yeah. Well, the thing about it is that reminded me. Thinking about language and the titles of Star Wars and how language works in Star Wars. And also dumbing down of Star Wars.
Yes.
One of the things that makes Star Wars really accessible and more accessible than Lord of the Rings and Hobbit and stuff is there's no real, other than like lightsaber, which you can sound out and figure out.
Yeah.
There's no like bullshitty vocab you have to learn.
Oh, besides like midi-chlorians?
Oh. Yes. Wow, Ron. You had that already.
Quick.
God damn. Never mind. Lord of the Rings is clearly better. Join us next week on Lord of Granular.
You said something in there that I wanted to play off of, and I forgot what it was. Oh, the dumbing down of Star Wars.
Yes.
Okay, so...
Dumbing down of Star
Wars. It came out today, in fact. Who is responsible for this title?
Good question, Ron.
Who named this?
Well, there was a few people in the room.
Right. Was it the original screenwriter that they hired? That they fired?
Oh, what, Peter Arndt?
Yeah, Michael Arndt.
Arndt.
Yeah, Arndt writing Star Wars.
Arndt part of the Star Wars party. See ya.
Did he come up with the title?
Well, no, not that we know of.
I don't think so.
Not that I know of.
Was it, JJ and his, was it Lawrence Kasdan?
Was it a marketing copywriter, perhaps? Someone who's trained in words and economy of words.
Right. I don't think so. Now what we're hearing.
A quote from Bob Iger reads...
Bob Iger being the head of Disney.
Yes.
Corporate stooge.
He's the hand in the mouse four-fingered glove. It was the decision that was made by a few people involved in the process. Kathleen Kennedy, who runs Lucasfilm for us, and J.J. Abrams, who's directing The Force Awakens. I was going to say Star Wars 7, but now there's a new name. We're involved in this. We're all involved in the decision. We feel great about the film, and we can't wait until it comes out. We are only one of many that can't wait. That is such a creepy line. I want to read it in a normal voice so you can hear it. We are involved in the decision. We feel great about the film. We can't wait till it comes out. We are only one of many that cannot wait. Yeah. Jesus, freak. Someone put a muzzle on Bob Iger.
So, the gist of it is this title is born out of a committee.
Yeah.
Which is...
Yeah.
Although I'm still excited about the title, I'm still very hopeful. This title, I think, is a great title. It's committee.
Right.
It's the story group that came up with it, along with Bob Iger, who's...
Bob Iger, very creative individual, Bob Iger.
Yeah.
There's a good debate to be had here. Mm-hmm. And that is... So, there's a faction of Star Wars fans... Factions laws come up again. There's a faction of Star Wars fans who believe that the original Star Wars was very much a product of art through adversity. Yep. And it was very much a committee, in some ways, that made it. I mean, there's one ultimate decider with George Lucas. But it was the fact that there was a lot of different people, a lot of different skill sets, working together, and shutting down ideas. No one really had power over certain things, right?
You're saying the original trilogy? Because
the original film.
Oh, the original. Okay.
Yes.
I would say that...
The seminal masterpiece.
Yes. I would say great film.
Great film. Great film. Really see it.
I would say that out of all of the films, I would say that one was probably the one that comes closest to being a singular vision.
Well...
But... It was also, I mean, yes, there was obviously other people involved, but that is the one I think the most, as far as, I'm talking about the story. I'm not talking about the visuals. I'm not talking special effects. I'm not talking about, I'm just talking about the story and the title.
Right.
It was always Lucas's ideas was the Star Wars, shortened to Star Wars.
See, there's a lot of concessions though made. You know, there's a lot of concessions and things that changed. Because they couldn't afford it, because the studio wouldn't shell the money for it, because this and that, the other thing, because of weather, and and just other things such as hey, this guy made this really cool costume. Well, maybe that character should have a little more prominence on the screen. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. True.
So all I'm saying is that
it's always been committee.
Well, once you get to, I mean, there is clearly not a committee in the Phantom Menace and the prequels.
Okay. All right.
I would argue that's a singular vision.
That's a singular vision. Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
So what I'm saying is, while I feel this is very much, the mythology of Star Wars has always been it's a maverick filmmaker's vision, and that's what makes it. Well,
okay. So it was a maverick filmmaker's vision. We're talking the first movie.
Yes. Star Wars.
Yes. Maverick filmmaker. Surrounded by creative people with bringing creative ideas to the table.
Certainly.
Right?
Certainly.
And then we go on to Empire Strikes Back, which was we'll discuss in a later episode, but there was definitely a conflict there in the making of that movie.
Right.
Then kind of George reins it in and kind of reins in Return of the Jedi, makes it a little bit more of just his vision.
Right.
And then, 20 years pass and he makes the prequels, which I will agree with you. Very much his vision. The Maverick becomes the corporate.
Yes.
Okay? He is now, Lucasfilm is now a corporate entity.
Yes, he is not only the artist, but he's also the machine.
Right.
Much like Darth Vader.
Right. But that's what makes the prequels such an interesting story. Not the story, but like it's an interesting story of how the prequels came to be. Because it is the story of the renegade forced into becoming the corporate entity and not liking it. You know, and you can see that on the screen.
Right.
This is a man who doesn't like what he's become.
Yes. There's a lot of self-loathing.
Yeah.
And I think that comes through in the story.
Yeah. So now we are beyond that.
Yes.
We're beyond that.
Yes.
And now
we're leaving Lucas's baggage behind.
Yeah. Lucas, we as the fans have shunned him.
Yes.
We've shunned him. We've stoned him.
Yes.
He's given up. He's making strange buildings in Chicago.
Yes, he's raped enough. He's raped enough childhoods.
Yes, he's
moved on to raping architecture,
raping the Chicago's
skyline.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So, but now we're done with the Maverick. We're done with the artist. Now we have the corporation won.
Right.
Like, it's sad, but the corporation won.
Yeah.
And we have Bob Iger is like, well, we came up with the title.
Yeah, Bob Iger is like, I contributed the I contributed the word "the." Like, like we all got to put in a word in a pile.
The has to be in this, or else.
Yeah, JJ chose Force, and it was actually Kennedy who came up with Awakens. Like,
I believe that it was Kennedy that came up with Awakens.
I think Kennedy came up with the whole thing.
Honestly. We need to do a Kennedy episode later.
I think her and George Lucas, maybe Steven Spielberg, hung out in some den room, smoking cigars, drinking whiskey, and they came up with the title.
Arm wrestling.
Yeah. And she came into the room and was like, "This is the title of your movie, JJ."
All right. So we touched on what we think of the title. We touched on what the internet, which is the internet.
Yeah,
that guy Leon.
That is seriously the voice of the internet. I mean, shit.
I mean, we're kidding, but not really.
Not really. The internet is really a homophobic, woman-hating place.
Yeah, but they've also like you said, they've already come up with a generator, so you can make your own title for the Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
There's a crawl generator, so you can make your you can come up with the new crawl for the movie.
That was the first demo I saw for HTML5.
Right,
back in 2010, 2011.
Like, people are unhappy with 3 little words. I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, so the internet is a stupid, horrible place.
I'll be honest. Ultimately, the title to me was not that important.
No.
Because it was like...
It's not important.
It was just exciting though when it happened.
It's just exciting to know that we know what now 7 movies are.
Like, for the rest of my life, I'm going to live with this.
Right. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
As a couple guys who have, at this recording, 18 podcasts devoted to Star Wars, spent hours talking about it. We're going to have this.
Another one. Yeah. And all the... everyone now has to stop referring to it as Episode 7. They're all starting to refer to it as, The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of changed their, behavior because of this announcement.
I was thinking about a couple things, though. Like, number one, this is only the 4th time in my whole life this has ever happened. 7th is yours, but still, that's still, like, how many milestones do you have that's only been 7 or less?
Right.
And,
I mean, honestly, for me, it's like, well... Empire wasn't that big of a deal, because you didn't even, it was referred to as Star Wars 2 for the longest time. And
sure.
Also, it was interesting back then.
Yeah.
Like Bantha tracks, that was where things were dropped.
Yeah, right.
Bantha tracks was like the internet.
We gotta get that Bantha tracks episode going.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's something else I want to bring up. Back then,
yes.
Back then, it was called Star Wars Episode or Star Wars 2.
Star Wars 2.
Star Wars 2.
Yeah.
That was not the common nomenclature before Godfather 2. Mm-hmm. Like, before that, it would have been Star Wars, Son of Star Wars, The House of Star Wars, The Ghost of Star Wars,
Well, what was the first, real sequel? Not to Star Wars, but just in movies.
The first, as far as I know, the sequel that popularized the concept of saying, the title of the first one plus the number. Is Godfather.
Oh, really? That's
Godfather
the first.
And
that's
Godfather
the first
Part 2.
Part 2.
Yeah. And after that, it started becoming, you get your Friday the 13th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You know what I mean?
Right.
And,
interesting note. People, I did hear this one on the internet. By the time that Star Wars, The Force Awakens is released, there will be more Fast and Furious movies than there are Star Wars movies.
Yeah, fucked up. Yeah. that was actually probably the wittiest name generator thing I saw. Yeah. Someone said that. There was
Paul Weller, rest in peace.
R.I.P. Yeah, him and Robin Williams together.
Yeah, still hurts.
It's gotten a lot funnier, a lot faster.
The fast and the funny.
Yeah. Oh man, look forward to that one in the afterlife. I commend J.J. Abrams and his camp though, because they did the same thing with Star Trek. They didn't make Star Trek to whatever. They made Star Trek Into Darkness. Which a lot of people really criticized, but I thought that was an awesome, weird idea for a title. It was very unique.
Right.
Star Trek Into Darkness.
That seems to be the trend. I mean,
it's cool
the Marvel movies, you had Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, but that's the only thing that has the numbers after it. It's Captain America, Winter Soldier, Thor: The Dark World. It's
going back to the 007 James Bond. There's no numbers in those.
Yeah, so
except for 007,
right, which was never even in the title.
No, that's true. They didn't have a brand title, did they? It's never. No. It was never James Bond.
Yeah, it's never James Bond : 007 : that.
And George Lucas loves that shit.
Yeah. So. Well, that's funny. No one has asked George, what he thinks of the title.
Or George just hasn't returned any calls.
Yeah, he's
just
not.
Phone's off the hook.
Force
Him
what?
and Kenny Baker got the ball going.
Force what?
Yeah.
Do we think that JJ likes the title?
Oh, good point. God damn. That's a really good point.
That's what I was getting at, was we like the title, the internet, stupid.
Yeah.
Do the makers
sheep like the title?
Stupid people don't like the title on the internet. But do you think that JJ likes the title? He says, Bob Iger says that JJ was involved. Do you think he had a different title? Do you think that? When do you think the title was decided upon? Do you think it was decided upon early on, or did they have to actually finish production and be like, okay, I guess that's the title?
I really wish that we had a JJ episode in the can. Yeah. So I would have really done research and gotten to know the guy a little more. Mm-hmm. But from what I know about him right now, I feel like he's very pragmatic. I feel like he really understands it's a business before anything else.
Sure.
And I think at the end of the day, he understands that as long as Star Wars is in the title, it's going to sell the tickets. And that the title is kind of incidental. I think, what he's more concerned about is the actual making of the film.
Right.
So I think he's probably fine with it.
Right. Side note, there was a little bit of JJ Episode 7 appearance over the weekend.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if you saw this on the internet. I did. I watched it. It was kind of funny. The John Oliver show on HBO.
I was going to send... I didn't watch it, but it came up in my feed today. I was going to send it to you.
It came up. I watched it. It's pretty funny. John Oliver does that, last week, tonight.
Yeah.
Show.
I heard it's a great show. I haven't watched it.
It sounds funny. I always liked John Oliver. I thought he was great on, The Daily Show and that. Yeah. So he was doing a story about the salmon swimming upstream and they need help, so they invented a cannon that shoots them upstream.
A Star Wars cannon?
Not a Star Wars cannon, but a cannon that shoots fish.
Oh.
Okay?
Okay.
It's much deadlier than the Death Star. So they built one of these cannons on his set. Okay? And he has a barrel full of salmon fish.
And it shoots fish.
It shoots,
this is a real thing.
It shoots fish, yes.
God, it's a real thing. Crazy.
Well, no, it's a real thing in real life.
What?
This is a real thing. There's a cannon that shoots fish upstream so that they don't have to, so they can make it upstream because salmon are stupid and they don't know which way the river flows.
Okay.
So there's a cannon to help them. I don't get it.
This sounds like a horrible idea.
I don't get it.
Why are we also busy
cannon.
picketing
it's like a
fracking and stuff when we could stop the fish cannon?
It's a cannon made out of cloth too. It's weird. It's a weird thing. So anyway, John Oliver is we made a cannon.
I had
we made a cannon. We're gonna start. We want to see how this shooting salmon works. So he has a bucket of fake salmon. He's got this cannon they made that's obviously not real.
Right.
And he's throwing salmon into the cannon.
Yes.
And it shoots, but you don't see it shoot. And you see a cannon, and all of a sudden there's Jon Stewart doing The Daily Show.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And a salmon, as he's doing The Daily Show, slaps him in the head.
Get hit with salmon.
So the cannon is blasting people in different shows.
Oh, so it's it's a cannon that can shoot
into different shows as they're filming.
Yeah, okay.
So
different realities.
there was they cut back to what's his name?
Tony Salmon.
Yeah, Tony Salmon.
Tony Salmon show on HBO.
He's loading the cannon up.
Yeah.
It shoots again. Jimmy Fallon is doing the Tonight Show.
Hits him. Nice.
And it's literally blindsiding these people with big foot-long salmon.
Oh, God, I love it.
It's just slapping them in the head.
That's actually like a really funny game.
Newscasters, there's a newscaster. She gets slammed in the face. Like, it's awesome.
Laughing
right? Right? They go to the point where it's like Homer Simpson, animated cartoon, sleeping on his hammock, right? Slapped in the face with animated salmon, right? And they're like, wow, they cut back to... Why am I blanking on the guy's name?
J.J. Abrams.
No.
Oh.
They cut back to the guy's show.
Tony Salmon.
Yes, Tony Salmon. And he's like, wow, this is really powerful. I wonder how much more powerful it can get. And he loads it up with more salmon, right?
Yeah.
Cuts to J.J. Abrams directing R2-D2.
Oh, right? God,
He's got a script in front of him, and R2-D2's like, beep, bloop, bleep, bleep, bleep. And JJ is like, no, it's beep, beep, bloop, blop, blop, right? And JJ gets slapped in the face with a salmon.
I love that, like, JJ's having so much fun.
It's so cool. It's like, that's
so much
cool.
fun with the fact that people,
that's cool.
like, are dying.
It's nice to see that he's, like, doing these goofy things and not, like, totally, like, stressed out and, like, pulling his hair out.
Oh, yeah. I don't, like I said it. He is without having done an episode, done the research. From what I know, is he's very pragmatic. He comes from the industry in terms of like his family had some business in there, and he's kind of like he's grown into he's real professional.
Yeah,
is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I guess I heard the article today that Christopher Nolan's like he's a super fan like everybody else.
Christopher Nolan is?
Yeah, did you see this today?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh yeah,
he's a super fan of what? Star Wars?
And he's like he gave a quote today where he's like, I'm hanging on every release.
Oh, I respect him because I hate Christopher Nolan.
Oh, me too. I think he's a douchebag.
Yeah, I really hate him.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Weirdly, let's take a little Christopher Nolan break.
All right.
So Batman Begins happens. Mm-hmm. Actually, forget that. I was a fan of pre-that. I was a fan.
Memento was great.
Memento was in high school.
Great movie. Yeah.
Rented it new release. I loved it.
All right. Yeah.
That was great.
Yep.
Amazing film. That was a good time for film too. Hedwig and the Angry Inch came out around the same time. There's a lot of good stuff happened.
Yep.
Then I went back and watched Following, of course. That was good.
I don't think I went back and watched it.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
And then what happens next? Insomnia. Saw Insomnia in the theater.
Yeah.
And was kind of like, well,
it's all right. Robin Williams, rest in peace.
I'd already seen Robin Williams. I'd already seen Robin Williams go dark before.
Okay.
So it was
and
like
what?
Death of Smoochie.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Also, he was in the dark role. I can't remember what it was.
1 hour photo, but that came after Insomnia.
1 hour photo come off after, yeah. And that's when he went real dark.
He went really dark. The blood coming out of the eyes.
Oh my god. That was a great movie, but it wasn't a great movie. It was an okay movie that like had a great performance. Because then it just ends. It was like the whole movie was
I know is I took my parents to see Patch Adams. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, Robin Williams has a new movie coming out.
Yeah.
I then took him to see 1 hour photo.
Oh, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, blood coming out of the eyes. Yeah, this isn't Patch Adams.
It's just like cool. Like, that's the cool thing about 1 hour photo was like they made a movie that was just like, let's see how dark you can go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and ultimately, you showed everyone how dark you can go. I mean, ask his belt. R.I.P.
All right, so
that's our Christopher Nolan minute. No. Seriously.
So he makes Batman.
That was very exciting. Reinvigorated franchise I loved.
Hate them all.
I know you do. But I grew up loving that franchise. Yeah, I stood by it even as it fell down. Batman and Robin was a low point, obviously.
Oh, you're talking about that franchise?
Yeah, Batman.
I was talking about just Nolan's version.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan of Batman. The Michael Keaton Batman.
No, of course. It's fantastic. Yeah. Yes. God, it's great. You saw Birdman. I saw
it. Yeah, great.
Anyhow, Batman Begins happened. It was very exciting and reinvigorated the franchise. As time went on, I was like, a little forgettable, but it was cool to see that costume really work. But then Dark Knight happens. That was super exciting. I really enjoyed it. The Joker portrayal rocked it. My uncle made the good point. I didn't ever like the Bat Vision.
Don't even talk to me about the movie. I hate it all. I like Heath Ledger. That's all I like about that movie.
I mean, he's the takeaway because there's really not a lot of. I really like a shot of. There's a lot of shots I like. Is the thing. I like a lot of shots of. Bruce Wayne looking at the bat cowl during the daytime.
Okay.
I like that. That's the kind of stuff I get into. Anyhow, Rises I thought blue. I liked certain shots and that was it. Prestige I liked.
Oh, okay. I don't think I saw that. I don't think that.
Tesla.
I don't think I saw that. I liked Inception. Inception. I like my.
Oh, Inception! I thought it was good.
My Christopher Nolan takeaway is I like Memento. Yeah. I like Inception.
I like Memento. I like The Dark Knight. I mean, it's hard to argue with for me, except for that ending. That third act is horrible. It just falls apart. Anyhow, so bottom line, I don't think it's a perfect filmmaker. I don't think Interstellar is going to light my fire.
No.
But glad to see he likes Star Wars like me, so he can listen to my podcast.
All right. That's fine.
Anyhow.
All right. I'll give him that.
Yes.
I'll give him that.
Yes.
But lose the suit. Lose the suit, pretentious fuck.
Yeah, and quit just looking like a douchebag, period.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like, you really... Yeah.
Like, he's from Chicago, right?
No.
Yeah, he is.
Well, he spent some time in London, right?
Yeah, and that's what... No, he's...
Christian Bale.
That's the thing, is like...
They both have a problem.
Christopher Nolan is from Chicago. That's why he shot the second one, Dark Knight.
In Chicago.
He's from Chicago. Except he puts on the stupid British accent and the suit, and he thinks he's not Chicago.
Well, I just don't... No,
yeah, you are... that's Michael Caine.
And he dyes his tips.
That's a Michael Caine.
Dyes his tips. Frosts his tips. Get out of here. Get out of the frosted tips.
Michael Caine and Christopher Nolan stay away from Star Wars. That's the sum up point here.
Michael Caine, I think, because he's getting older and more gaunt, is welcome in Star Wars.
I think that Michael Caine would make a very fine...
Imperial officer?
Admiral Akbar.
Yes. I'm trying to think how that would go. It's a try. It's a try. I mean, I can't get it.
You can't do it.
I can't do it. Okay.
He can do it, though.
Anyhow, so that's our Christopher Nolan minute.
Yes.
Back to Star Wars, The Force Awakens. Good title.
Great film.
Great
title.
Great
yeah.
film. Good title. They got the juice. They got us ramped up. Some fans hate it. Most fans love it.
That's Star Wars fans for you.
We're all real excited for it.
Yeah.
George Lucas not weighing in.
No, not at all. Does he even know the title?
Does George Lucas? What's he doing out there?
He's building things.
You know,
he's got a hard helmet on.
What's he building over there?
He's got a hard hat on, and he's digging up the lake shore.
Yeah, he really is. I look forward. Do you think we can, because we have a Star Wars podcast, we can get into that?
Oh yeah,
opening.
Heck yeah,
free.
Yeah, we got to get the things for our microphones.
Oh yeah,
the little things that says our logo on it.
Oh yeah,
we gotta get that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Well,
all right. So I think
that covers
the title. We just wanted to do an episode about the title.
Yeah. Just want to drop it so we can share some excitement.
Yeah.
See what
kind
you
of
guys
marks our excitement for it in history.
Ron.
Yes.
Ron. Two things.
Yes.
Number one, I'd like to do a little follow-up at the end and talk about Rebels a little bit.
Yeah, right.
But before we get to that, we didn't even tell anyone how to contact us. We're so excited. We let everything go right over.
My name is Ron.
Hey, my name is JP.
We are
Star Wars Delusions of Granular.
And you can reach us at, you can always like us on Facebook.
Of course, at facebook.com/SWDogs.
You can also email us at swdog77@gmail.com.
You can now. This is. You should like us at Twitter first. SWDog77.
Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on SWDog77 on Twitter.
77 is the year the Star Wars came out.
And yes, that's why we got the 77.
Yeah.
Also, leave us a review on iTunes. We definitely want your reviews, whether they're good, bad, mediocre, whatever. Yes. Leave us a review.
Yep.
We promise we will try not to make fun of you.
No, of course not. We may or may not read your comments aloud. Also,
this is exciting.
This is brand
very exciting. Very exciting.
I don't even know how to do drum roll.
I don't either. Okay. But that wasn't it.
Well, it's avant-garde. It's very avant-garde.
Nice.
It's like George Lucas's little pictures.
Nice.
Yes, we have a brand new call-in line.
Phone number.
If you're at work right now, you can just duck into the bathroom and give us a phone call.
Yeah, leave us a message. We promise we probably will not pick up the phone. You won't talk to us directly. God, no. We screen all our calls.
Yes.
But leave us a message.
Yes.
Leave us a message if just typing in something on your keyboard is too hard and you just want to get something off your chest.
And it's scary. Who wants to have your words in print?
Yeah. Leave us a voicemail, and we will either listen to your message on the air, or we will
maybe play it.
If we play it,
you would like it to be played on the air.
If not, we'll read it.
Well, actually, if you don't want to be played on the air, just say the words, "Hey, don't play this" at the end, and we won't play it. But if you don't mind, just let it ride, man. It's gonna be fun. It's part of the show.
Yeah.
We will never rip on you. We'd be so honored.
No, yeah, we definitely.
Ron, what is that number?
The number. Oh yeah, I guess we need to give out the number. Okay, so the number is 651-33-SW-DOG. And the numbers for that is
651-337-9364.
That's 651-337-9364.
By the time you listen to this, we'll have it up on the website and Facebook and wherever else. Numbers are sold.
So leave us a call. Tell us what we got right, what we got wrong. Tell us we're morons. We're fine with that.
Yeah.
But just talk to us. That's all we want.
We're trying to build a community here, folks.
Yeah.
So stick around for the next 15-20 minutes. We're going to talk about Rebels.
All right, folks. And, may the Force be with us.
It was a blockbuster summer. Moving pictures got us through to September. They made a movie about me and you. And they made it half good and half true. There was a blood-sucking summer. I spent half the time trying to get paid for my savior. Swishing through the city center, I did a couple favors for these guys who look like Tusken Raiders.
So Rebels is going on.
Yeah, so we're pretty excited about all this going forward.
Yeah.
And now
new Star Wars. Gosh.
New Star Wars, finally.
New Star Wars, yes.
Google searching that for years.
How many episodes? 5 or 6?
5 or 6.
Yeah.
5 or 6.
So we just finished watching Out of the Darkness.
That's right. It's something with darkness.
Yeah.
And before that, there was a missing TIE Fighter one, and in between TIE Fighter one and the darkness,
there was Fight or Flight, there was also
Under the Guise of Pretending to Be a Stormtrooper.
Yeah, I don't know what the name of that was. Yeah. So a few different episodes. What, JP? What do you think so far? Going on?
Okay. Well. It's obviously still in its infancy. You and I, offline, had a kind of a bigger discussion about how the show's being put together in general.
Sure.
Like,
whoa, wait. Just tell me your thoughts. Quickly.
Okay, I like it.
Okay.
I like where it's going. I have a lot of problems with the way they use the Force. It's very cavalier. I understand it's animation. You had to go bigger because it's not, live action.
Yeah.
But, when you see, this is canon now, folks. I mean, Bob Iger named Star Wars, and then he said that this was all canon.
That's right.
And when you have a guy walk in, and Kanan grabs 2 guys, pulls them 30 feet, well, probably 15, 20 feet, clotheslines them and knocks them out, it's like, why did I never see that in the movies? Even the old school Jedi didn't do that. And, when you see Kanan, here's the thing. I like the reckless child endangerment. The fact that, Ezra's in constant danger.
Yeah, they were, training him on top of a flying spaceship.
Training him on top of
in the clouds, throwing, they have Chopper loaded up like he's a...
Chopper.
Chopper. Yeah.
Take a break. Chopper. So the biggest thing with Chopper is, he's legitimately a threat.
He's...
that is a robot that I honestly question why he's there.
Yeah, he wants to kill.
Zeb, I can understand, because it's Zeb, he's a big angry monster, essentially.
Yeah.
But, he's also really good in a fight, and he's very loyal to Kanan, it seems like, right?
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah, seems very loyal, and you can reason with him on some level, even if he's a big crazy brute. He's very good to have. You gotta have the big guy on the team.
Right.
This fucking droid...
The droid is awful.
Guess what? You can buy another one.
Yeah. Just get rid of him.
Trade him into a Jawa.
Unplug him.
Even if it's just half price, you only get half what you paid for him.
Yeah.
Trade him into a Jawa.
He has not saved the day ever. He's not loyal like R2-D2.
It doesn't matter how many times he saves the day.
But he hasn't. He has not saved the day.
It doesn't matter if he has or hasn't. It's the point that he walks in and shocks people at random.
That's true.
This is horrible.
He does.
He's the worst appliance ever.
Yeah, he's bad.
Keep in mind, we've established that this is, you might want to call droids slavery in some form.
Right.
But that's what it is, guys.
Okay, so here's a
malfunctioning droid.
I caught up on all the episodes. I did not. The one where Ezra goes undercover as a cadet
Really bummed you out.
Did not care for that episode at all.
Okay, well, it's clearly a ripoff of... it has a set piece that's very much of a ripoff of one of the better episodes of Clone Wars where Obi-Wan goes undercover as a bounty hunter. And the bounty
there's
hunter...
a training video game type of platform jumping game.
Very similar to a film called Cube.
Yeah.
If you've ever seen that. And it's... very cool in Clone Wars because I was like, wow, this is out of nowhere. It's very awesome.
Clone Wars, yeah, it was cool in Clone Wars, but
and
basically what they're saying,
character in that one.
Right? But what they're saying is those big empty pits that we saw in the original Star Wars movie, where when the Falcon is docked in the Death Star, there's these big pits that the stormtroopers are kind of laying
I
on.
didn't even think about this.
They're now just these video game training grounds. No, those pits have to be something else besides just video game training grounds for cadets.
Because all the stormtroopers I saw in the OT couldn't have done any of that. Straight up couldn't.
Also, there shouldn't be any cadets on the Death Star.
Yeah.
If you made it to the Death Star, you're not a cadet.
Well, they're not on the Death Star.
No, I know, but they'd have those pits on the Death Star.
Oh, so you're saying, well, still a training pit, so...
Yeah, no cadets.
Yeah, that's
and the
true.
cadets, so you have these young, fertile minds, cadets just willing to be trained into the Empire's ways.
Yes.
And you're going to put anonymous face masks on them so you can't tell them apart and you don't know which ones are being bad and which ones are being good because they're all wearing the same mask.
Well, I think there's something to be said there about, number one, the taking away the individual. No more faces. You're all part of a greater thing now. And also probably a concept of group punishment. Well, the problem is... Oh,
okay. All right, I can see that.
If one acts up, everyone gets
disappointed. I can see that.
Yeah.
But the thing is that bothered me about the show is, you see the cadets without the masks on.
Yes.
And all of the cadets, to me at least, look very much the same, except you have Ezra, who sticks out like his sore thumb because he has blue hair and blue eyes.
Yeah. Well, that's a larger problem.
That is a larger problem.
Because the thing I kept...
Also, the problem I had with that cadet episode is they took away the thing that works on in Rebels.
What's that?
The character interaction.
Oh.
You have Ezra working by himself.
Yeah.
And then you have... I don't even know what the other four were doing, other than you knew Chopper was all dirty and on the Imperial base with Ezra, shocking people.
I don't remember that.
Right, they made him dirty, so he was black.
Oh, they put him in blackface.
They put him, they kind of put him in blackface.
Cool,
but you didn't have character interactions where you had character interactions in the fight or flight. One with the TIE fighter, you had Ezra and Zeb.
I think you have to see him alone. I think you have to know who this character is alone sometimes.
But the character interactions are so good because
Agreed.
The next episode we had Hera and Sabine kind of working together, fighting these monsters that only can stay in the dark.
Yes.
And you had Zeb and Ezra kind of being, kind of fighting amongst themselves with... Chopper, and it was very comedic. And then you had Kanan, who was trying his best to be in a Jedi meditation. And the way they kind of framed that, you could tell he wasn't doing a good job of meditating.
Yeah, because he was focused on everything they were saying.
Yeah, and Ezra and Zeb are disturbing him, and he's like, so this is what's going on? And they're like, oh, did you get that from your meditation? He's like, no, I heard every word you said.
Yeah, there was a lot of, I took a lot of notes when I last did it, just because it was, when I last watched it, just because I was thinking about, we were doing an episode about this and stuff. My biggest problems were, number one, overall, the way they're telling this story, it's very decompressed, very slow.
Yeah.
But it's kind of to a point where it's I don't know who these rebels are and why they're I'm understanding who the characters are finally, which is great. But I don't understand what they're trying to accomplish.
No.
And I know they're on one planet, but only because I've read things. I didn't realize until recently that this is all happening on one planet.
I kind of got that they were on the same planet because they keep showing that the vegetation on the planet, those rock formations or whatever those things are. I don't know if they're rock or plants or whatever.
Sure.
They keep showing those, so I kind of get that they're on the same planet.
But then, when you're inside an installation for a long time for a whole episode, it's
it's a little tough. It's a little tough. And I think the frustration, it's good. The frustration you're feeling was voiced on the episode with the Sabine character.
Yes.
She's frustrated as well because they're not telling her anything for
that was
no
a really
good
episode.
reason.
Yeah,
that
was actually like a good vent for me.
Yeah, they're not really telling her what's going on and when the rebellion is starting or what they're doing that's causing any, doing any good whatsoever.
Right.
And she's frustrated as well as kind of the viewer.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels like they just
are treading water.
The creators really haven't figured out who the audience is. Like, is it adults?
Very Disney though, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, it's very engineered. They're trying to figure out like they want to tell a story, but they want to make sure that it's kid friendly. But they don't know if kids are watching the show or if it's adults.
Star Wars fans.
Yeah, so it feels like they're really kind of testing the water,
right.
And that we may not see a true this counts episode until like the second season, which it's been renewed, so we're going to get that.
Which
but
I think
just
kind of feels like Clone Wars was kind of like that also.
Well, I think the Clone Wars. The thing that Clone Wars had is, like, they were producing the Clone Wars, and they're just like, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't care who their audience was, and, they're like, the audience will find us.
Yeah. Our mandate is to make the Clone Wars.
Yeah, they were just like, we're doing this, and they had Crazy Lucas was just like, oh, do this, and do this, and do this. And they're like, well, that's out of order. Yeah, well, who cares?
Oh, no big deal. Let's put it on the big screen. It's great. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And now they don't have that. So now they're like trying to find their ground.
To be fair, though, I got to give them credit. These characters, while, archetypical and stuff, they're not typical.
No,
like,
they seem to zig when they should be zagging.
Yes, and I understand it's very engineered and whatnot, but it is kind of refreshing to see a bunch of characters who are all on one level or another, except for maybe Hera, kind of unlikable.
Yeah, kind of.
They all have very big flaws.
Yeah.
Which is it's weird because I find myself watching it and being off-put by a character trait, and then also being like, well, that's kind of cool.
Right.
Right. Because just because I haven't seen it.
Right.
So, even down to the character models, Kanan's not your typical hero. He's not particularly broad-shouldered. He's not, square-jawed.
Yeah.
And he's also not confident. And he's kind of got a weird self-hating thing. So.
Yeah, and he doesn't really understand, what it means to be a Jedi. Yet he's trying to teach another Jedi.
Yeah, which we know how that can go.
Right.
Yeah.
They had a great line in the cadet episode. There was one line that I was I really liked.
Yeah.
Ezra was talking to one of the other cadets, and he's like, I'm training to be a Jedi. And the other cadet's like, who isn't?
Yeah, right?
That's a nice line. That's a great line.
Yeah, I also like seeing the flip of, we saw Padawans in the Clone Wars all the time, and, now this is what Padawans look like in the Empire. And, a lot of cool things. I think it's a really cool show with a lot of potential and still realizing it.
Yeah, as much as
I'm really growing on that ship Ghost. I really thought it was a Millennium Falcon clone when they first showed promos for it, but it's totally its own thing.
No, it's got its own thing. And
yeah.
As much as I'm a little bit disappointed with the show, I'm still watching it, and I still find enjoyment in it. I like, the fact that there's TIE fighters and there's shooting and there's stormtroopers and there's killing, and there's definitely a feel of it's Star Wars. They're escaping off of the planet with the dark creatures that only come out at night. Mm-hmm. And as soon as the ghost shows up and they get in, immediately Sabine goes to the gun turret and starts shooting. I'm that's a nice little touch. They're not Sabine just trying to escape. They're actually trying to kill as they're escaping.
In that undercover episode, there's a clear shot. You can Google it and find it, folks, where Sabine shoots Stormtrooper straight in the face. And whether that's stun or not,
that's gotta hurt.
That's pretty bad. Yeah. So,
all right. So we're sticking with it.
Yeah. I'm totally
it's a fine show, but
I have a lot more thoughts about it. Let's save them. I'll save them for the wrap up.
Yeah, we're gonna try to.
Oh wait, I do want to mention one thing though, because we've talked a lot about the animation in the previous episodes.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, no idea why they started off with that horrible Wookiee animation when they have such great animation on their episodes.
I will almost agree with you, except I felt like the animation on Hera was pretty bad in the Out of Darkness episode.
The moment I made the connection that she's wearing little pants on her head, that's all I can see.
Hera's like, I was just kind of watching her facial animation,
sure,
and it was not syncing up with her emotion.
Really?
I'm like, this is weird. Yeah.
They're really good at some other things, though. Particularly the episode I first started noticing that an uptick in animation was that team up episode you talked about was Zeb and Ezra.
Yeah, that was a fun episode.
That was almost like a demo reel. I thought of like, this is what we can do now.
Yeah, that was a fun episode. Yeah, we got to see TIE fighters in crazy situations on the ground, and it was fun.
So anyhow, guys, it's uneven, but I really think it'll pay off. If we keep going.
Yeah. You know? We're gonna stick with it, and it's canon, so we have.
I like how this is the dynamic of the show. Like, I'm down on the show, and you're like, no, it's all right. Like,
now
you're down on it. And I'm like, no, it's gonna be good. So this is that's to be dog for you.
There you go. That's
signing off,
and that's Rebels. Yes. All right, folks. Talk to you later.
Peace.